Hey everyone, this is Mark Treichel with another episode of With Flying Colors. I'm excited today to be here with Scott Gladden and Kenny Ray Mitchell of Innovations Credit Union. How you guys doing today?
Doing well.
Doing good, thank you.
Glad to have you guys here, and we're here to talk about a really cool event that I'll be participating, and you guys are the leaders of coming up here in January of 2026, and that's the Q's Council Cruise. Did I get that right? The Q's Council Cruise, which has been happening for many, many years, but I'm excited to be able to talk about it today. I'm excited to participate in January. But Scott, if you could kind of lay out what this cruise is all about, how it started, and why the three of us are so excited about being able to get on that cruise in January.
Yeah, sure. The council is actually the Florida Council of Q's. And the way it started is years ago, a few of us were sitting around talking about educational opportunities and things that we needed to talk about that were affecting us in our credit unions every day. And so the idea came up to start a cruise because we're so close to the cruise ports here and make an event out of it. And actually, the costs were very similar to land-based conferences. And so that's how it all started. And it was about probably 20 years ago.
Wow.
This on. And since then, we've been trying to bring these educational opportunities at first to just credit union executives. And then later we folded in the boards and audit and supervisory committees and really trying to get them the education that they need to serve on our boards. And that's how it all started. And it's taken off from there. We've done it ever since.
And so this cruise that we're talking about, the dates, the locations, the cruise line, can you kind of give some of those details?
Yeah, so it's January 16th through 20th. We'll be going on the Royal Caribbean Radiance of the Seas from Fort Lauderdale to the Grand Bahama Islands in Nassau.
Very good. I'm excited about going back to the Bahamas. I haven't been there since my honeymoon in 1989. So kind of a historical trip for me in that regard. But that sounds like, and it's going out of Fort Lauderdale, which is an easy airport to get to. And so it's the Florida Council, but if I remember right, that includes the connected states as well. And it actually, if someone's out on the West Coast and better yet, in the Midwest, and it gets real cold, and, I'm from Minnesota originally, if it gets real cold in January, if they're looking for an escape and they want to have a good training program for their board or for their executives, they're welcome as well. Do I have that right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. Everybody's invited. Don't matter where you're from, everybody's invited.
That's fantastic. And the council also does include Georgia and Alabama. Are they part of the council, or am I misremembering that?
They're part of the league, but not the actual council.
Okay, got it. That's right. And looking at we'll get into the educational side of it, but I'm looking at the website here. The prices look great. I know at some juncture, the opportunity to get the good pricing might disappear if someone's really interested in going. Is it wise to get in touch to get the better pricing, or how does that all work?
Yeah, you need to get in touch as soon as possible. You're welcome to call me, 850-832-3872, to discuss any questions you might have about the cruise. The block's actually closing for our initial pricing very soon. But as long as there's cabins on the boat, then everybody's welcome to book and attend as well.
And for those who aren't watching the video, that was you, Kenny, right? That's your phone number?
That's correct.
Very good. And, I was pleased to see that the Wi-Fi package is included and the deluxe beverage package. I'm not sure what that includes, but it sounds fancy.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
includes all your drinks, water, soda, anything you want.
Yeah, I know on cruises, I've been on a few cruises, the coffee bars are pretty cool too. The fancy coffees that everybody likes is probably included in that as well, would be my guess.
Yeah, and all the ice cream you can eat.
I'm watching my carbs until January, and I'm celebrating sober October right now, so I'm going to be ready when we get to January. So I'm excited to participate, and again, I'll be speaking at one of the events, and I've got a couple of my guys that are often on the podcast. Steve Farrar and Todd Miller, who will also be attending, and we'll be talking obviously about NCUA related things. But do you? I'm aware that there's a really robust speaking crew for this cruise. Can you kind of walk through who else currently is planned to be there as part of the educational process?
Yeah, sure. First of all, we have John DeLoach. He's a credit union lawyer out of Tallahassee. And John has helped us for years. And he does some sessions for the executive teams on just the regulatory environment, what's coming, what are the hot buttons, things to look out for, because he's so in tune with what's going on in the industry. And then he also does the session for the board and audit on Bank Secrecy Act and OFAC, which are always a big thing they have to do every year. And so John's always supported us. He's a perfect speaker for this. We have Trey Rudder, and Trey's with Corporate America. And Trey provides some financial training for board and audit committee members. And then he also has a session where he talks to the executives. And those guys have been with us for years and doing it with us for years. Now, some of the new folks, of course, are your group. And we got Mike Macchiarola. I hope I said that and pronounced that right. It's a hard one. From Olden Lane coming this year. And what I see, and I think it's on topic, is for us to talk about what we see in the future of the industry and really the consolidation that we're seeing and the big credit unions merging with other very big credit unions and why that's happening and what the future looks like for all of us. And it's one thing I look at and concerned with our credit union. So, and then you have your folks. They're going to step in and talk about really some NCUA things and part of that too.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, and whether it's Macchiarola or Macchiarola, I just call him Mike Mack, right?
That's what I say too. Yeah.
Longtime listeners of the show, Mike's been on the show several times talking about what you described, subordinated debt. I think we had an episode on the NCUA annual report that we do annually. And he's a charismatic speaker who knows a lot about where things are going in the industry and where it's been recently. So, and my guys, we talk a lot here. The podcast listeners know Steve and Todd real well, but Todd Miller wrote a lot of the capital markets type things that are required by NCUA. He doesn't agree with everything that's in there because he wasn't able to get it quite the way he thought it should be, which is a little bit more reasonable. But he was a capital market specialist for 10 years, director of special actions, and knows a lot of things about the NCUA, details about the NCUA exam program. Steve Farr wrote NCUA's enforcement manual, wrote NCUA's risk-based capital rule, and they help me with my clients, and they're on the podcast a lot to talk about how to pass your exam with flying colors, which is where the podcast name come from. Yeah, I'm excited to get on board. Now, when I would go to the NCUA conferences, there was always the agenda, and then there was always the bar at the hotel where a lot of business seemed to get done, where you'd catch up with old friends, where you'd meet new friends. And I noticed looking at an old agenda that every night there's a network reception. And I'm guessing that these credit unions and this cruise and the council's events, that's a lot of where the big business gets done and where you break a lot of bread and maybe have a couple glasses of wine with new friends and old friends.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And really, I think that's one of the most valuable parts of the cruise. Every night we meet at a specified location, stand around, talk, and like you said, talk to old friends, new friends. And I can tell you, in my history in the credit union industry, a lot of things that were talked about and went on in those meetings has helped us and our credit union over the years. And so the way it works is we all show up, hang out, talk, and then either we break off in smaller groups and go to dinner, and that's the way it works. And by the end of the cruise, most people end up knowing everybody else on and within our group.
That's exciting.
It took us for years. To me, that's where the real conversations happen because we're in a relaxed, distraction-free setting. It's not like the typical ballroom, at the hotel conference that you go to. It's just, I think it allows everybody to be open and to share the ideas and to have those conversations So, what's working in your credit union, what's not working in your credit union. So I've enjoyed it throughout the years,
Yeah.
learned a lot.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward
I
to
need
it.
a policy. Like, I need a policy. Can you send me
Yeah.
what you guys are using over there so I can look at it too?
That's right. Yeah, that's the beauty of the credit union movement, right? Is there's a camaraderie and it is a movement. There is cooperation across borders and across credit unions, which is probably why these types of credit union events are just so well done and so meaningful for the attendees. Very good. Well, so we've talked about where it's leaving. We at Royal Caribbean, good food on Royal Caribbean, good quality ships, which is nice. So you know that you're going to be in a safe environment, a quality environment. Leaving out of Fort Lauderdale, going to the Bahamas. The dates again? Could you maybe repeat those, Kenny?
Yeah, it's January 16th through the 20th. So it'll leave on a Thursday and we'll be getting back on a Monday, which
And
is
let's-
March.
And the Dolphins aren't doing well, so they're probably not going to be in the playoffs that weekend, right? And the Vikings aren't, so I'm not worried about it. Todd Miller might be bummed out if the Packers get there because he's a big Packer fan, but I'm sure there'll be a TV somewhere that we can catch
Absolutely.
those games. So
Yeah. And it's over holiday weekend too. So the folks that are bringing guests, hopefully they have that day off and don't have to use their leave time to,
yeah,
we put it over holiday weekend usually.
yeah, that's smart. I like that. I like that. We got a holiday weekend coming up.
This weekend.
Columbus Day. I started at NCUA on Columbus Day, which was a federal holiday. I called my trainer. I said, "What do you want me to do?" He goes, "You don't have to do anything." I said, "Well, why are you starting me on Monday instead of Tuesday?" They said the paperwork's too hard. So I said, welcome to the government.
I'm
That's
sorry, I misspoke. We are coming back on a Tuesday. I got that wrong.
So it's Friday to Tuesday or Thursday to Tuesday?
It is Friday to Tuesday.
Friday to Tuesday. That's
Oh,
great. Like you said, you don't lose any work days, unless, of course, you're coming from Hawaii. You might have to.
Yeah.
You might have to.
But we'll take you, Steve.
But we'll take you. That's right. That's right. All right, guys. This has been fun. I'm looking forward to seeing you in January. Any last thoughts for the listeners about the cruise or anything else?
No, I think we're good. Just hope we get some good weather down there. We don't have a late, deep cold front coming through Florida. But other than that, let's bring your flowery shirts and shorts and flip flops and come learn with us.
There you go. And if the weather's bad, we'll be inside, and that just means we'll learn more.
There you go.
All right. Well, thanks, Scott. Thanks, Kenny. I appreciate you sharing all this. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the cruise.
Yeah,
All
sure
right.
thing. Thank you.
And listeners, I want to thank you. Watchers, I want to thank you for listening or watching. This is Mark Treichel signing off with Flying Colors.